I'm Barrett Clark. Welcome to PCVision, the first news and information video magazine for microcomputer buyers. We have a lot to cover, so let's get right to it. Our first story will take us to San Francisco, where PCVision's managing editor, Paul Schindler, reviews two important new software packages.
In this show, we take a broad look at graphical user interfaces, or GUIs, as they're known in the trade. The overwhelmingly popular GUI choice, for today at least, is Microsoft's Windows. Now we're going to take a closer look at two other GUIs, one called New Wave, which sits on top of Microsoft Windows, and another, a kind of everyman's GUI called Ensemble. This opening screen may mislead you. It looks a lot like one of those home computer software specials. But behind this innocuous screen lies a lot of power. And keep in mind that what you're watching has no relationship to Microsoft Windows. You're given a choice of appliances, professional-level tools, and access to standard DOS programs. Appliances are utility programs similar to the ones you find on pop-up programs like Sidekick. In Ensemble, you can choose among a calendar, name and address file, calculator, and notepad. These are Ensemble's training wheels, and I doubt that anyone will be satisfied with them for long. The real meat of the system is in the professional applications. These include a quirky but useful word processor, a drawing program, an unremarkable communications module, and enhanced versions of the calendar and name and address functions that are found in the appliance section. So what makes this package interesting? First, it's easy to use and will run on any MS-DOS computer, including a 10-year-old low-horsepower IBM PC. Because it needs relatively little of your system's capacities, it may also be a near-ideal starter kit for portable computer users. New Wave is another kettle of fish. It requires that Microsoft Windows be installed before you can add New Wave. That means you'll chew up at least 25 megabytes of disk storage just for the combination of Windows and New Wave. New Wave is the first over-the-counter product to address the nebulous area of object orientation. An object, like the icon you see here, is a collection of data linked to a program. Clicking on the object gives you the file you want loaded into the program, ready to work. One of the most intriguing parts of New Wave is the agent. Basically, these are routines which you set up to automatically run a set of procedures, either on command or at some scheduled time. Of the two, New Wave probably has the most long-term potential, especially in the way it handles objects and implements agent tasks. To get the most out of other application programs, each program must be specifically modified to work in either New Wave's or Ensemble's environment. So far, there hasn't been a rush of software publishers ready to make these kinds of changes. Nonetheless, it's likely that at least some will, and that both of these GUIs should continue to warrant your serious attention. For PCVision, I'm Paul Schindler.
Next, we'll briefly examine some PC and Macintosh hardware and software. Opening up a new market segment, palm-top computing is the pocket computer, a completely self-contained one-pound computer that runs for 50 hours on two standard AA batteries. The good news is that the Pocket recently cut its price by $500. The Pocket comes with 512K of RAM. It also has 640K of ROM, which contains the MS-DOS operating system and some useful utility software, enabling it to run most popular PC programs. There are some drawbacks, however. In order to display 25 lines of 80 characters on a 3x7 screen, they had to be made tiny. The screen isn't backlit, which makes it hard to see at some angles. The keyboard is much improved. It has gone from impossible to passable. The improved keyboard and lower price make Pocket worth another look. Later in the show, we're going to look at multimedia. For now, we'll show you two packages that give you some audio and video to spice up multimedia presentations, as well as a system that can make presentations flashier. We all know humor makes presentations go down easier. Farkas Cartoons comprises 7 discs containing 100 business-oriented cartoons, digitized for use in most multimedia authoring systems on both Macintosh and the IBM PC. Music helps too, but it's technically illegal to use copyrighted music in a multimedia presentation unless you pay for it. One way to get legal is with DTM, 200 selections of digitized music on CD-ROM for Macintosh users with 6 megs of memory or more. An annual fee buys a license for unlimited use. Then there is the Video Toaster. This 7-input video production switcher produces professional-looking television switching effects and broadcast-quality video. Finally, there is Info Select. After a year on the market, this Personal Information Manager, or PIM, is just getting hot because it's simple to use and inexpensive. Besides, it's one of the few PIMs that can be shared on a network, which makes it just right for this year's trend towards groupware. A recent study concluded that a graphical user interface, or GUI, for software leads to higher productivity and less frustration and fatigue for PC users than a character-based interface. PCVision's Valerie Thomas takes a look at which GUI software is winning the hearts and minds of PC users.
In the 1970s, Xerox's Palo Alto Research Center developed the STAR workstation. Xerox's research found that spatial and visual information is easier to memorize than verbal and textual information. Apple Computer took these ideas from Xerox's research and STAR workstation and made history with the Apple Macintosh computer in 1984. There are now various GUIs available for PC users, ranging from GeoWorks Ensemble, Windows, New Wave, and Presentation Manager. But the question now is, who is going to win this GUI race?
I would say, in all likelihood, we will see Windows be a major force in the GUI world. Today, OS 2 provides a lot of benefits to larger customers that are building large mission-critical applications that can't be supported by Windows. In the future, we'd like to see a world where applications could run on either platform. And at that point, maybe we could start to see a winner that comes out of the Windows versus OS 2 battle.
Windows 3.0 represents the best implementation of a graphical environment for PC users today. Windows brings the Macintosh feeling to the PC world. Not only are developers behind Windows, but also retailers. Lisa Spiegelman, senior editor for Computer Reseller News, thinks Windows will continue its strong presence in the GUI environment.
Among the different graphical user interfaces, Microsoft Windows, HP New Wave, IBM OS 2, Presentation Manager, it appears as if Microsoft Windows is winning. The primary indication of that is that there is by far more of Windows shipping than any of the other graphical user interfaces. The reason why it's easier for resellers to sell Windows is that there are more applications that run with Windows versus HP New Wave or OS 2 PM.
Hewlett-Packard's New Wave was developed to run on Microsoft Windows, but the product lacks Windows momentum and strong marketing. New Wave also suffers from the misconception that it is another operating system. According to computer industry expert Win Roche, among all the GUIs available for PC users, Windows is winning the GUI race.
Windows is the winner today, and Windows will be the winner in the future simply because of name recognition. Microsoft has a winning name with Windows. OS 2 Presentation Manager will disappear because the name doesn't work. But the Windows of the future is going to be different from the Windows of today. They'll put new code underneath it. And that code will end up being the same code that they will use for OS 2. The two will merge, and Windows will be the winner based on name recognition.
Presentation Manager includes Desktop Manager, which allows easy movement for users between OS 2 and DOS environments. With Microsoft's recent announcement to port Windows over to OS 2 and Windows 3.1 to be released this year, Presentation Manager is losing this battle for PC users. While Windows is winning the GUI race now, you can be certain that a graphical user interface for your PC will be mandatory in the future, and Microsoft Windows will probably still be in the lead.
Is long distance really the next best thing to being there? David Strom, editor of Network Computing, is going to talk to us about remotely accessing your local area network. My first question is, why is remotely accessing your local area network important?
Well, one of the things we found out is long distance is not the next best thing to being there. You really want to be able to control your servers and all of your communications links remotely when you're not in the office. If something should go wrong, you want to be able to get in, diagnose the problem, fix it, and carry on so that people who are back in the office on the network can continue doing their work.
Do you need more than one product to do this?
You need several different products because each of the products does different things. You need a dial-in product like PC Anywhere and A-Term from Dynamic Microprocessor Associates to be able to connect to the network via modems from long distance. Then you need other products such as LAN Assist, which allows you to get from one point on the network to another so that you don't have to physically walk around the building and fix people's machines. You can do it all while you're sitting at your desk. Let me demonstrate here. We're using PC Anywhere on the office end, and here let's imagine we're on the road, we're dialing in with our laptop using A-Term, which is the companion product that allows it to talk to the machine. Once we've connected up our machine over the telephone link, then I'm going to go out using LAN Assist over that network and check out machines that are running and making sure that they're operating. So I load in LAN Assist into my computer, and here is a list of all the people that are on the network. I'm going to go down and look at our mail gateway, which connects us up to our machines in California we exchange electronic mail with. The gateway has a tendency to be a little bit problematical, so this is a good way to do it. And I notice the clock is still ticking here on the machine, so that the gateway is working just fine. Now I can go back and get out of LAN Assist. There's another program that we use that's part of the NetWare 386 package called Remote Console, and that allows me to actually take a look at the server's console. As if I was sitting in front of the file server, but I'm not. So here's a list of the known servers that we have, and I type in a password, and I can proceed to monitor the server, look at its connections, see who's logged in, see if there's been any problems, any error messages that have been given to me.
Who is the typical user of these products?
These are products not for the average person on the network, but for the network administrator. And whether that's going to be a departmental secretary or someone in an MIS organization, that's really up to an individual corporation. The idea behind these is to have tools that people can use to control their network and solve problems so that everyone else is up and running.
What's next?
Better compatibility with network systems, more capabilities in terms of high performance modems, and more functionality so that perhaps you won't need several products to do a single job like this.
Thanks for the demo, David.
Thank you.
Multimedia is a subject that gets a lot of coverage. Up until recently, however, there has been more talk than action. Is this the year that multimedia developers are going to start delivering practical applications? Multimedia is such an enigmatic term, and its promise is so enticing that it's no wonder that it has been called one of the computer industry's great unfulfilled hypes. 2 years after the multimedia age was declared, most people are still waiting for an easy and affordable way to combine text, video, graphics, and sound on a personal computer.
We've really got all the pieces that we need now coming into place, and every month what you see is more and more pieces of this puzzle fitting together. So 1991 and in fact the entire decade of the 90s is going to be the time for multimedia, just in the same way that the 80s was the time for the PC.
All of these elements are also becoming cheaper and cheaper, making the multimedia solution truly cost-effective to anyone who is aware of its potent communication capabilities. But Mott and other leading figures in the industry believe that one of the main things holding multimedia back now is a lack of awareness.
I think the hurdles really have to do with education and training. You know, there isn't a channel of distribution and sales out there that's developed that understands both computer platforms and audio-video platforms.
As the multimedia industry comes out of its infancy, the Apple Macintosh clearly stands as the platform of choice for the developers of authoring software and application designers. The Mac's built-in sound, easy-to-use interface, and graphics capabilities has given it an early lead over other platforms.
Apple is one of the few computer platform vendors that actually controls both the hardware and software development. And because of that, we're able to offer a very highly integrated system. We've had QuickDraw as our bitmap graphics model since 1984, and the architecture of the 90s is going to be media integration. I think you'll see some very interesting products coming in the 90s as a result of that high level of integration.
Apple is intent on maintaining its leadership position. One of the ways it plans to do that is by repackaging